Don't worry about the Broncos. Broncos Country, take a deep breath. We are breaking down why we're not concerned about the Broncos or Bo Nix on the show, and it all starts now. Broncos Country, take a deep breath. Everything's going to be okay. Or is it? We're going to discuss that on the DNVR Broncos podcast. We are live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your local Front Range Toyota stores. And we are presented by Bet365. Use that code DNVR365. Deposit $10, place a $5 bet. You're going to get $200 in bonus bets in your account when you sign up using that code DNVR365. And we are the DNVR Broncos podcast. Ryan Koenigsberg to my left, Henry Chisholm to my right. We got you here back behind the camera, and Zac Stevens rocking and rolling with you, fellas. How we doing?
Doing great. Random rainy day.
I really like it.
The rare all-day rain projected.
Extremely rare for Denver.
It's pretty cool.
But, gives you a chance to get a different fit off. Maybe like eat some soup, which you wouldn't normally do.
Oh, yeah.
Lexi always making chili tonight.
See?
Yeah.
See?
I love chili, but Lexi hates chili. Because she just doesn't eat beans. And so, like, whenever I get myself a can of chili or something, she's just like, what are you doing?
Man, now I wish I would have thrown some chili in the crock pot before I left today.
I just get the cans.
You can still do it. We make it, sometimes we do a crock pot, but other times we just do it on the stove. Takes an hour or so. You got time.
That just 8-hour crock pot.
Get the house smelling.
Yeah. All the flavors meld together.
Yeah. Not liking beans is crazy.
I know. Well, the only bean she likes is green beans, which is really messed up because that's the worst bean.
Wild bean take.
Hardly even a bean at all.
I love beans.
Where is she bean?
In every form.
Yeah.
Wow. There you go.
Yeah. Still loves Taco Bell, though.
Hell yeah.
Despite how bean heavy the menu is, still loves Taco Bell.
In fact, sometimes I substitute things at Taco Bell, the meat for beans. Yeah,
I have added beans before myself.
Interesting.
So guys, a little different week coming up for the Broncos. Monday Night Football ended last night, and we get Monday Night Football with the Broncos next week, and it's a doubleheader. They're now starting to sprinkle in more Monday night doubleheaders, but the Broncos game is the featured one, which will be on ESPN. I think the other one might be like the ABC, ESPN. I don't know. But this is the main Broncos game. So the Broncos have today off. They have a bonus practice tomorrow. Then they're back to their normal schedule on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So we're going to be here on throughout the week through Friday. And then, of course, we get to enjoy football all weekend. Got the Buffs and Rams on Saturday. And then got tons of football on Sunday, and then Broncos on Monday night. So a little bit of a different week for the Broncos, but pretty much the same week for us. We're going to be here throughout the entire week at noon. And
real quick,
yeah,
doubleheader's stupid. Like, as a fan, I really like watching the doubleheader. The Broncos deserve, when you're on Monday Night Football, everybody watches you. It's not half the people watch you, half the people watch the other game. Point of the national game is everybody watches. Instead, this is like half of Monday Night Football.
What's weird is this is the overlapping one, right? I think it's like a 6:15 and a 7:15. What they did last week was great. Give me the 5 o'clock, the 8 o'clock. The one game ended before the other game started. I'm all about it. In fact, I am team give me a doubleheader every night of the week.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Just have it be like this rotating schedule where you start the season on Monday, then you play on Tuesday, then you play on Wednesday, and it just rotates around. You can get 2 football games every night. My life would be exponentially better.
It does suck right now because baseball playoffs haven't started yet. Hockey hasn't started yet. Basketball hasn't started yet. And so Tuesday and Wednesday, there really is nothing. And some Fridays, the schedule's bad too.
I'm okay with it. A tiny little break is okay.
Nope.
It's good for my relationship.
Yeah, no, we have date night.
Yeah.
I don't, which I'm excited for. If anybody's out there. Wouldn't replace that with football.
Last night, Monday Night Football's on. I grilled up some burgers. We, had that's good for the relationship.
Yeah.
Watch Monday Night Football.
Yeah, but you grill up burgers on Tuesday. Like you make chili on Tuesday.
And then what?
And then you spend quality time with one another.
Watching football is quality time.
It is, yes.
Yeah. Not in my relationship.
Yeah,
So in the Toyota chat, someone's saying vice versa. The Broncos are on ABC, so I guess that's even better right there. But Henry, the Broncos pretty much are the only game on Monday night because the other game is Dolphins, 0-3 Dolphins, against the 0-3 Jets. I think people will watch the Broncos, but it is against Jake Browning and the
They'll
Bengals.
be watching the Broncos.
Yeah. Jets have a big fan base.
So.
Those East Coast people will be tuned into the Jets and Dolphins.
Maybe, yeah.
There's not really Dolphins fans,
no,
though, right?
No.
Like we give Chargers fans rightful crap.
I would add I don't think they're really Bengals fans. More than Dolphins.
No, because
Dolphins.
there's just nothing else to do in Cincinnati. So like you have to be exactly.
Yeah.
Beanless chili, I believe.
They would probably see this weather and be like, this is incredible. This
you
is all
need
we
to
look
turn
for.
Lexi on to Skyline chili.
As long as I don't have to. I just want to be able to eat my chili. And if that turns into her wanting to eat that chili, it'd really ruin my chili nights.
Okay, so let's dive into today's conversation. And we are going to look at, are you concerned about Bo? So spoiler, I'm not concerned about Bo. I'm not concerned about the Broncos. But we will open this up to you guys, and because I don't want to force it on Henry or Ryan that they can't be concerned. So we will ask that question, and we're going to start with the Broncos. So, chat, I want to ask you, Toyota chat, let me know if you are concerned about the Broncos, and if you're tuning in later, are you concerned about the Broncos, like, long-term? Because I made it clear yesterday. Yesterday's conversation was just about the Chargers game and what we talked about. So now we're taking a little bit of a step back, and we're going to start this conversation by, are you concerned with what you've seen from the Broncos and kind of moving forward right now? And this question was kind of posed to Sean Payton yesterday because the Broncos have been in every game this year. They just haven't been able to pull it out. So the question to Sean the day after the game was, do you think the Broncos will be able to flip from losing close games to winning close games? And are you concerned about that? And here's what Sean had to say.
I have great confidence it can be flipped. Here's the thing, and we did, and yet that really came from one explosive run. I thought that was probably more of a wash, but we had more minus plays that are harder to overcome. The two takeaways were the reason we stayed in that game. You know, in other words, we only had 9 first downs offensively. We have to be more efficient relative to what we're doing, both with the run game and the pass game. Our average third down was 3rd and 11. So the reason it was a close game was because we were +2 in that department. Obviously, we're playing a good football team. We feel like we're a good football team, and we flipped the script in the end of the second, early third, and then we have to offensively be able to finish. In 2 weeks in a row, we've been in that position to finish in the fourth quarter. So I think the penalties were a big issue today in the meeting. We had 10. Some of them, we forced the defense. Defense forces a punt. We line up in the neutral zone, and that equates to a turnover. All of a sudden they're 1st and 10 again instead of you having the football. Those are the things. And look, us as coaches, we've got to look closely at what we're doing to help eliminate those issues. I have great confidence.
Maybe I wish I didn't hear from Sean because I actually feel worse about my confidence after hearing from Sean. And it's funny because he starts off by saying, I have great confidence that we're going to be able to turn this thing around. And then he explains what happened against the Chargers and a little bit against the Colts. And in there, he mixes in like, I feel like we're a good team. Everything he just said about the team was negative outside of like a 5 minutes of game time against the Chargers. It makes me a little bit more worried than I was.
Yeah, but I'd like that more than just like, everything's fine, we're fine, this is great. It's just a couple things here and there and we'll be back on track. Like
instead of the meme where you're in the fire and you're saying it's fine.
Exactly, yeah. I like the fact that Sean Payton knows what's wrong.
Yeah.
And I have confidence that he knows how to fix it. Can I get into whether or not I'm concerned?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been more far apart from the average pulse of the fan base, how they feel, from where I feel. I don't know what's going on in Broncos country right now. Like, I think it's just years of losing has like dwindled away perspective. So just every loss feels the same. But like, not all losses are created equally. And the way that people are reacting, like I just saw someone in the comments call the Broncos a dumpster fire. I'm like, come on, guys. We've seen dumpster fires.
Yes, you know a dumpster fire.
We know what that looks like. It doesn't
just
look
3 years
like
ago,
this.
dumpster fire.
What are we talking about? The Broncos are not a dumpster fire. The team has lost 2 games by a combined, 4 points?
Yes, 4.
They held the lead in the fourth quarter of both those games. I'm concerned about that. That's the one thing that has me, you got to get over that hump. But the way that people are acting about this team, like, there's no hope for them. The season's over. This guy sucks. That guy sucks. Cut this guy. Fire that guy. I'm like, what is going on here? So concern, I can't say I have zero concern, but where I think the average fan is versus me is like a 10 on the concern level for them and like a 3 on the concern level for me.
Well, I guess it's what your expectations are. And I think that's one of the reasons why I was so heated after the game is it doesn't feel like this is the team we were sold on from the head coach right now, in the moment. And I saw James in the Toyota chat say, in the moment, I was really heated, really concerned, and now taking a step back, it's a little better. And that's how I am, totally. But I just feel like we heard Sean Payton go out of his way to tell us this is a Super Bowl team. Okay, well, you know what Super Bowl teams do? They win in clutch situations, and the defense takes care of it. And you know what? We've seen that in Denver. We've seen the defense take care of it in 2015 when it mattered the most. They came up with the big stops, the big turnovers. And then on the other side, the offense takes care of it. Well, we've seen back-to-back games where both of those have failed. And then in the Colts game, add in the special teams where they failed as well. Now, did Sean say we're going to be a Super Bowl team in week 3? No, he didn't. And so I'll give him some leeway there. And he also talked yesterday about how he has never been with a team where they haven't had to learn how to win throughout a season. They learned that going through. So I'll give Sean the benefit of the doubt there. But Ryan, I think that's why fans just might be up in arms, is like, oh, this isn't the team that the head coach told us it was going to be. And to Sean, to the fans' credit, yeah, you don't lose close games back-to-back in the fashion they did. To Sean's credit, it is still week 3. If this happens through 17 weeks, then yeah, Sean, you're wrong.
That's where I'm sorry. That's where I'm at. Is like they aren't the team that Sean Payton said they were going to be, but they're like 3 plays away from being that. You know what I'm saying? Like if this team was 3-0 right now, no one would be saying, oh, I have a concern about this or that, nitpicking every little thing throughout the entire roster. Everyone would be saying, wow, this is a group of winners. And guess what? They're not yet. But they're putting themselves in position to win football games in the NFL. If they get over that hump, they do have the mix to be, in contention for their goals. So I just feel like because they're 3 plays away, everyone's acting like they're 3 years away.
Mm-hmm. And that's why, like I said yesterday, I don't think Sean was wrong to say that in the offseason. Like, I think what he said was it's a team that's capable. And when I look at what this team did the last 2 weeks, I don't come away saying, oh, they weren't capable of winning those games. They were very much capable. They just decided to not do it. And there's a difference between capability and execution. And the problem to me is that you're getting called for penalties at a crazy rate. There were a couple hitches in the play calling. If you want to know more about that, go to thednvr.com and check it out. Went real deep on that one. And that's why I look at this team and say the path to being a Super Bowl contender, the upstart year 2 kind of surprise team was get off to a pretty hot start, probably lean on the run game, find ways to win, and then improve from that point toward the end of the season. Like Bo said, he took months off of throwing. The goal and all of his structure is to peak in January. And so to see him miss a couple throws now, in some ways makes a little bit of sense. And like you said, the difference is just the execution. The run game, I think, is kind of right there. It's not perfect. There are some lapses. But right now, J.K. Dobbins is on pace to be the Broncos, have the most rushing yards of any Bronco since Clinton Portis in 2003. there's something there that's working. So I agree. I don't think they're far away. I just think, they didn't execute. They didn't take advantage of what they're capable of. And because of that, now here we are in this not so fun situation.
I wish I had a whiteboard to draw what I want to draw here, but everyone wants progression to be linear, and almost in nothing is it ever linear. And so the Broncos last year started at the very bottom of the chart. Then they worked their way up. They made it all the way to the playoffs. And everyone just thinks okay, you're here. Now just go here. And that's just not how it works. The Broncos came back a little bit. Now they're here, but they're way higher than where they were in week 3 of last year. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And now they can go up from there if it happens that way. Sometimes you just flatline for a little while. And that's the frustrating part of it all is you just want to see the linear improvement. But it hasn't happened yet. It could happen. It could start this week. It could start in 4 weeks. Who knows? The difference between the Broncos right now and a Super Bowl contender, and the Eagles are a perfect example of this. Super Bowl contenders find ways to win games they should lose. The Broncos are finding ways to lose games they should win. They got to find a way to get over that hump.
Exactly. And they better do it before 4 weeks from now, Ryan. It better start this week, and they have a great opportunity. We're going to dive into the Bengals game as the week goes on. But what's disappointing is they're 1-2. When all of us, I think I can say before the season, thought they were going to be at least 2-0 right now. So they've kind of dropped maybe one more game. They'll have an opportunity to make it up, especially this Monday night. But you can't wait too long, or else then you're just too much in a hole. I actually have a different reason than you guys from why I'm not concerned about this team. What are you shaking your head at?
Just comment.
Okay. Let us know, speaking of the comment section in the Twitter chat, let us know how you feel when we hit this ad break so then we can hit some of your comments after. And speaking of that, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Ent Credit Union, where I want to tell you about an awesome product that Ent Credit Union is offering to Broncos fans to make the most of the season right now. For those of you that don't know, Ent Credit is the largest credit union in Colorado, proudly serving communities all over the state, and they're also the official banking partner of the Denver Broncos. Look, we all need a credit union, a bank, and Ent Credit Union is the one for Broncos Country, and their Broncos checking account is loaded with all sorts of perks. And man, here you can get the Ent Credit Union Broncos card with Bo Nix making a sweet throw. I believe this is in the Chiefs game last year. He's throwing it just crazy. He's got it signed. You can get that on your debit card. And every 15 swipes on your Broncos checking account will get you a chance to win home game tickets for the Broncos. So if you want this, go to ent.com/DNVR. That's ent.com/DNVR to learn more. Insured by NCUA. Membership required. Account requires associated Ent Broncos debit card.
And ticket prices are falling quickly for this Monday night game with no Joe Burrow. If you want to go, you can go check out our friends at Game Time. Lexi's going with a bunch of her friends, and they will be using Game Time, or I think actually already did use Game Time to buy their tickets. I'm pretty sure, because I was looking a couple weeks ago, and it was like $200 to get in, and the good seats were like $800, $700, like the real good seats. Those are down to like $450. To get in's down to like $150. So if you want to go see Monday Night Football, now's the time. And they probably will get even cheaper as you get closer to the game. When you need tickets, Game Time's the best. They've got the Game Time guarantee, 100% authentic tickets, all that sort of stuff. You get the best price. The features are cool. Like right now, I have the map pulled up. You can see all the different tickets. They just have the little price for each spot. Makes it really easy. Fees are included. There's zone deals, favorites, seat views, all the things you could be looking for. So take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code DNVR for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code DNVR for $20 off. Tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today.
I have to address this comment. I have to. It said the Bills aren't flatlining. The Bills have been flatlining for 5 years.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
2020, 13 wins. 2021, 11 wins. 2022, 13 wins. 2023, 11 wins. 2024, 13 wins. Lost in the conference championship. Lost in the divisional round. Lost in the divisional round. Lost in the divisional round. Lost in the conference championship. They are the definition of flatlining. They've been stuck in this position for a long time. And I bet you it's driving their fans crazy because guess what? The season doesn't start for them until the playoffs. So all of this stuff in the regular season is all just fun and games. So you have to run into Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs and see if you can get over that hump. They are literally the definition of flatlining.
They've been super flat for a long time.
Yes.
Just really high up flat. But yeah,
yes.
you're right. You're right about that. And man, you're also right, Ryan, about the vibes in Broncos country. And I knew when that loss happened, especially a second heartbreaker in a row, that the vibes were going to be bad. Some people in the Twitter chat have picked up their vibes, and they've regrouped themselves just like I have. And you can see the big picture now. Some people, man, they're not feeling good about this team. Someone in the Twitter chat said this is a 500 football team. And I understand those feelings. And the reason why I am actually not concerned about this Broncos team, and we'll take a big picture look, but guys, over the first 3 weeks, I don't think the Broncos have played very good. And they are 4 points away from being 3-0 against two good teams
on the road
and a bad team. But the offense did not play good in week 1. The offense did not play good in week 3. The defense did not play good in week 2, and the defense wasn't able to play good when the Broncos need them the most in week 3 at the end of a game situation. This team has been kind of underwhelming to me, and they're that close to being 3-0. And then we'll look at kind of the more cupcake schedule that they've got coming up, but I expect a lot more out of this team, and I think this team's a lot better than where they are. The Broncos are like the 20th ranked defense in the NFL right now. 20th. If the season were to end today, Vance would get fired based off of that right there. Now
Most of that's because of one really bad game.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah, this past game didn't help in terms of like the stats.
I thought the defense was fantastic.
In terms of yards given up, though. Yards given up.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to happen against those teams.
That's what that's based off of, though.
Okay.
I think the defense can play better. I think the offense can certainly play better. Yet we've seen flashes of elite, and I think that the more the season goes on, I do believe that because of the talent, because of Sean Payton's coaching, that this team is going to be more of the great we've seen than the bad we've seen. And so the fact that they're 1-2, really not playing well and 4 points away from being 3-0, that's what gives me the confidence as I've seen it, and I think it's going to become more consistent.
Yeah, to me, there are two categories. There's the categories of like 2025 Broncos, what do they achieve this year? And in that category, I'm very concerned. The other category is like Denver Broncos, state of the franchise, state of the program. How good are you? Like, can you go win a bunch of football games? And in terms of like the quality of the team, I'm not concerned at all. Like, because I agree. I think they're very capable. Going back to what I was saying before, they're capable of winning these games. If you just weren't playing your D+ level of football, I think that they could be in a really good spot right now. But the fact is, going back to that first category, not in a good spot at all. And if you want to contend for a Super Bowl, you have to win your division. There are very few teams that go from wild card to winning it. Obviously, there are examples. The Giants did it with Eli. But going on the road and winning 3 playoff games and then going and winning a Super Bowl, very, very, very rare. So to me, it was always you got to win the division. When you look at it now, the path to winning the division is it's really brutal. It's really brutal. It starts with probably 10-4 at a minimum in these next 14 weeks, 15 weeks. There's a buy-in there. And then you got to cap it off with a win over the Chargers. So it's just not a good spot to be in. But I agree. Team right now, I think they're very capable.
Yeah. I just want everyone to remember the conversations and all of this that are being had right now if the Broncos go 2-0 over the next 2 weeks. Because the NFL is just such a week-to-week league that every take has to be like big picture, everything's great or everything's terrible every week. And it's like, okay, they're going to be considerable favorites over the Bengals at home.
I think the biggest favorites in the NFL, last I checked.
And then they're going to go on the road against the Eagles. And if I know anything about watching damn near every Eagles game, it's that they pretty much allow their opponent to be in the game every week. So the Broncos are going to have a chance in that game. Now, they haven't given us any reason to believe that having a chance in a game means they're going to get over the hump and win it. But if they do, then all of a sudden there will be an entire referendum on everything that's been said right now. And it's like, oh, okay, well, now the Broncos just beat the Super Bowl champions on the road, and now they can win the Super Bowl. So just everyone relax. Everyone just take a deep breath. I'm talking to myself.
That is almost always the answer. Just relax.
The team is close. Now, where Bo goes, they will go. And that's the part that is concerning to me just because I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know when Bo Nix is going to level up. I think the Broncos can't level up until Bo Nix levels up. And again, talking about wanting linear progression, that's definitely not happening with Bo. I think he's taken a step back from even where he was at, the end of last season. To say, use the Bengals game as an example. He's overjuiced in these games. His feet are all over the place. He's getting maybe a little bit too much hero ball. And as soon as he wants to settle in and start like making throws on time and just converting easy first downs rather than needing Sean Payton to, scheme up a play that's going to end up on Dan Casey's Twitter later in the week to move the chains and score points, then this team can level up. So that's where my concern is. And it's not that I don't believe in Bo, because I really do. And I think that it's going to happen. I just don't know when. Like, it needs to happen right now. It might not happen for 4 weeks. And if it doesn't happen for 4 weeks, where's the season when we get to it?
Well, and that's exactly what it all rides on. It is Bo taking that next step, and I'm not concerned about Bo yet because we saw nearly this exact same thing happen last year. The slow start for the Broncos, the slow start for Bo. Benny, knowing Sean's offense, has been telling us that Bo is going to get off to a slow start because of how much Sean wants to put on his plate. So that's why I'm not pressing the panic button yet. If we're here in 3 or 4 weeks saying the same thing, and then it's time to panic. And then it is like, well, Sean was wrong about sophomore slumps not being a thing because Bo's having a sophomore slump. I'm not there yet because he also is off to a better start this year than last year. So you talk about that progression. Well, between the beginning of last year and the beginning of this year, he is on a linear progression right now, which is encouraging, but it wasn't where he ended last season when he had one of the best touchdown to interception ratios in the NFL. No, he's at 5-3 right now. He has taken a little bit of a step back there. And what I really want to see from Bo, and Ryan, you went back to last year looking at this, I want to see Bo be the reason why the Broncos win a game. And you have to go back pretty far to last year to find when he was the reason they won. Guys, I went back. I think you have to go all the way back to week 12 of last year to find when he was the reason. That's when the Broncos played the Raiders. That's when Bo broke his back, and he went out and threw 2 touchdowns, almost 300 yards. He had a really good game. The Broncos won by, I believe, 1 score, and he was the reason why. He did that in that game. You can even look at the week before, which I don't remember what that was, but he was also the reason they won. So it's not like he's never done it, but it's been a little bit too long. Quarterbacks should be elite quarterbacks, top 4 or 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, as Sean Payton says Bo's going to be in the next 2 years, do that often. So I want Bo to do that. And guys, he has an awesome opportunity to do that on Monday Night Football this week. If he does it against the Eagles, against a top 5 quarterback in my mind, Jalen Hurts, and a good defense, man, that would be even better. And then if he doesn't do it in those 2 weeks, he's not the main reason. Well, he still has good opportunities, the Jets and the Giants after that. So that's what I want to see to really be like, okay, not concerned about Bo. Go win us a game.
Yeah, I mean, and you look at that stretch, Bengals, Eagles, Jets, Giants. I know the Jets and Giants have had their flashes, but really, even if you get this current version of Bo, you should go 3-1 there. Like, they should be able to withstand it. But I agree. Like, that's kind of the cutoff to where you would like to see at some point him get back to whatever it is that he's going to do well. Because again, like, he's never been like a high volume passer. He's never been a guy who is successful down the field. But what's he at now? He was 6 of 16 going into this week, 10 or more yards downfield.
So this week he was 3 of 9.
So 9 of 25.
Or 9 of 25. Yeah.
Scared me.
3 of 8. 3 of 8 maybe.
No, 3
I think
of 9.
he tweeted
3 of 9. Okay.
Yeah. So he's 9
He
of
did throw
25.
a touchdown on one of those.
He did. That's, again, there's positives there too.
Wide open touchdown.
Not as many as you might
Like
like.
I said, the offense is Sean Payton's brain.
I mean, what is he batting now on wide open touchdown passes? Like,
one of.
Luckily, the Troy drop got called back. That was a
3.
penalty. Otherwise, that would be
wouldn't
another
have been
touchdown.
his fault.
It would have been his fault, but that's the stat sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but again, you just want to see him get back to playing efficiently. Like no turnovers. He's not a guy who can really afford turnovers. Hit on the open ones and just get over 50% when you're throwing 10 yards downfield. 10 yards isn't that far.
What are we saying today, though, if Bo's scramble, for whatever it was, like 13, 14 yards that he ended up down a foot short. What if he gets that?
Gritty. He's a gamer. Look,
and then the Broncos
things aren't
go
going
on to
well.
win
Put the
that
team on the back.
It's
He
like,
won.
okay, like, yeah, it wasn't a great game. But
First place in the AFC West.
What if the Broncos just decide to go for it? Have some balls.
Yeah.
Convert that.
Now, they did have some balls on a couple of earlier fourth downs, which makes it, I think, easier for me to swallow that they didn't go for it there. But still, yeah.
Well, right.
It's not easier for me to swallow.
No,
like,
because
this
you're 2
is
for
2025 in the AFC West. You have to take games.
Well, in both of those fourth down plays, so one was the fake toss with Bowles split out touchdown. What was the other one? Because I want to say the other fourth down conversion was also a pass. Interesting, though, that they went pass, I believe, in both of the fourth and shorts they went for. And maybe if you're Sean, you say, like, hey, we used our plays up. If we go for it here, we have to run, and we obviously aren't feeling great about that.
Well, let's talk about this because I know exactly what
power.
I know what Sean's a little tush push. I know what Sean's reasoning was for that, and let's talk about it after I give a shout out to our friends over at Bet365. I mentioned that the Broncos are the biggest favorites in the NFL this coming week for the second time in the first 4 weeks of the season, which is crazy, and they are those big favorites over at Bet365. Broncos, last time I checked last night, were 7.5 point favorites against the Bengals. Not to spoil my pick later this week, the Broncos better cover that, and I feel comfortable hitting that for the Broncos to beat that. The Bengals just played a backup quarterback and lost by 40 points. More than 40 points, I think. Broncos should take care of business, and if you want to get in on the action, go to Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up to get $200 in bonus bets after placing a $5 bet and depositing $10. That's all you have to do. Use that code DNVR365. Scan the QR code on the screen or download the app. Must be 21 and older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Also,
shout out to our friends at Omaha Steaks who sent me a package of food that has just been delivering night after night. Last week, I was going with the tenderloin steak sandwiches. They sent the tenderloins. I turned them into steak sandwiches. I mean, I would maybe say life-changing sandwiches.
It looked incredible.
It was so good, I'm going to be making it for the rest of my life. Then last night, I just went with their tenderloin burgers. Unbelievable. Just ready to go. I threw the Omaha Steak seasoning on it.
Yep.
Boom, little slice of extra sharp white cheddar that I had from those sandwiches last week. Right off the grill, and fantastic, man. Omaha Steaks has me hooked. Like, the quality of the food that they sent me in that box is just like, this is too easy and too delicious to not just have this be something that is coming to my house on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. So shout out to our friends over at Omaha Steaks, and they have a great deal for you right now. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Red Hot sale event and an extra $35 off when you use code Broncos at checkout. That's 58% off from them, $35 off from us when you use the code Broncos at checkout. See site for details.
And want to give a shout out to Big Brothers Big Sisters month, actually. Here's September. And if you want to become a big for a little, it's an awesome way to have such a direct impact on someone in the community. You can sign up at the link below. We want to raise awareness and give love to Big Brothers Big Sisters. So if you sign up, make sure to jump in the Twitter chat and let us know. Okay, so let's talk about this fourth down conversion, because I haven't been on a show where we've talked about it. So the Broncos, what was the score at this point? Broncos up 20. Okay, so it's a tie game, 20-20. The Broncos have the ball at their own 29-yard line, and there is 5 minutes left in the game. And it was just after you said, what was it, 3rd and 15, and Bo ran for 14 yards and 2 feet to make it inches there. And in the moment, how did you feel? Go for it?
I can't remember. We could check the tapes on the watch along.
That's true. We could.
But I think I did say yes. Go for it.
I think I was in agreement. We said a lot of things for 4 hours.
In the moment, I actually
look.
I thought punt, because if you don't get it, you are giving them an opportunity to literally have to do nothing to win the game.
Here's my counter to that. and I actually think it's not talked about enough. If you do that, which, first of all, you should be able to get a foot at any point in any game.
Agreed.
Teams just aren't, though.
Especially
most
the Broncos.
teams are.
Especially the Broncos.
Well, it's because you watch a lot of Philadelphia Eagles, and they absolutely are.
Fair.
It felt like last year they were. This year they are not as much.
So here's my counter to this. If you do that and you fail, first of all, figure it out.
Right.
Second of
It's one
all,
play.
Fair.
the Chargers aren't taking 5 minutes off the clock to go kick or score a touchdown to take the lead.
Right.
So you're almost guaranteeing yourself that you're going to get the ball back with a chance, which, as we saw, the Broncos did not get that chance. It's a consolation to the overarching point, which is just go get the first down. But I feel like it's not talked about. It's never talked about on a broadcast. Like, okay, well, if you do fail here, you're giving them the points. But how hard is it to get into field goal position from where they were for the Chargers? It's pretty easy.
Oh, after the punt?
Yes.
Right.
They
Well,
just-
they needed the
they
touchdown.
scored a touchdown.
To go 20-20.
No.
It was 17-10. No, it was 20-13, sorry.
It was at
was.
the fourth down.
It was.
That changes it.
Does
Okay.
it? Okay. Okay. I would still say
No. That one you have to punt.
there's some games I punt it, there's some that I won't. If
Is
it's
that
Mahomes
really what
on the other
situation was?
side,
Did you guys both just check it?
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they went 76 yards for a touchdown to tie it.
to me,
Oh, you're right. The last third down was the one to Courtland up the sideline.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. I take back everything I said. Just
Fair.
Erase it from the podcast.
You know what? No, that shows that you're adjustable.
Yeah,
You're
in that
willing
one
to
you
do down and distance.
again. I
situations.
still believe in the idea of you should be able to get a foot at any point in the game.
I agree.
But
And that's why I think my mind doesn't
when your
change.
defense has held them to 13 points on the day and you have a 7-point lead, you definitely don't want to give them the ball on the 29-yard line.
Well, and so after the game, Sean's reasoning was he felt at that point of the game, field position really mattered. And when you go and look so that was with 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Up till that point in the second half, the Broncos had only given up a field goal in the second half. So 20 minutes of football played in the second half, and they've only given up a field goal. I understand Sean saying, let's put this in the defense's hands. Let's have a good punt from Crawshaw, and let's make them go 76 yards to get a touchdown. And that's when the defense let them down. Just like the offense let them down at the end of the game, that's when the defense really let them down.
And you do have to consider the fact that like the defense has been out there all day when you make this decision. So maybe that factors into whether or not you go for it. Like, seems like the dam's going to break eventually, but I think it's harder to do that in the moment. Now we have the benefit of hindsight that they got gashed for 2 straight drives after that. And by the way, maybe we're not even having this conversation if Talanoa Hufanga doesn't just lose his mind for a second and body slam a guy.
Right. Absolutely.
That's crazy.
Just a dumb thing to do. But yeah, I would still go for it. And to me, like, you give up the touchdown there on a short field, 5 minutes, you get the ball back with like 3 minutes in a tie game. Now, apparently that's a situation they can't handle either because we saw something pretty similar. But I think that I look at the quarterbacks and I say, if this is Patrick Mahomes, you feel like he's going to drive the length of the field. If it's Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, they're going to drive the length of the field. And Herbert might just be one of those guys who goes and does that. And you look at what the Lions did last night, as they always do, going forward a bunch of fourth downs, including at the end of the game. A little bit different. They were just barely on their half of the field on 4th and 2 with, let's see, it's an 8. No, they were still up 14 at that point. It's not so risky. But 4th and 2, and they go for it there because you don't want to give the other team, when they have an offense like that, a chance. When you have the opportunity just to keep running out that clock, I still think going for it's probably where I would have gone.
Man, speaking of the Lions game last night, I saw some Broncos fans online being cranky, upset, frustrated because they're seeing Johnny Morton, a Sean Payton disciple, go out and be the offensive coordinator of the Lions. He was with the Broncos last year, becomes the Lions offensive coordinator, and he's calling all these crazy plays. And by the way, that was a fun offense to watch last night. The throw back to Goff where he throws it. The handoff option was so cool. And I get it. That's a really fun offense to watch. And people are saying, man, why can't Sean be like that? He was. It wasn't as flashy of a play, but that 4th down, that we talked about. He brings in extra protection to make it really look like it's a run.
Lined up Bowles on the right side just to get the defense talking and thinking about the right side.
Exactly. And it's all just it's so much. Maybe it's more so the normal fan doesn't realize it in the moment because it isn't a pass back to the quarterback and it isn't a crazy run. But Sean did a lot of trickery there to get a wide open Courtland Sutton, which turned into not just a first down, but a 52-yard touchdown when you desperately needed it. You had 0 points at that time. So I would just say that it was fun watching the Lions, but it doesn't have to mean because the Lions are good with Johnny Morton that the Broncos aren't. Sean's still doing a lot of good things.
Yeah, and I think, again, whether or not you go for that fourth down all comes down to the coach's confidence in your ability to get it.
Right.
And the Lions, as an example, over a 4-year sample size now, have just shown they do it over and over and over again. The Eagles do it every single week, almost at an unstoppable clip. So it's really easy to look at those teams and say, why can't we just do that? For whatever reason, the Broncos are not good at sneaking the football. Who knows? There's probably a few reasons why you could come to. As to why that would be. One would be that their center is really small, I would say. Bo Nix doesn't squat 500 pounds. I don't know how much he squats, but it's not that. There's a few things there that play into that. And some of it also is just like a niche skill that clearly the Eagles are good at teaching and executing. Sean Payton would love, I think, to be the guy who goes for that there. But I don't think he trusts the offense to get it yet. And that's something that the offense has to earn.
And he also trusts the defense. And he trusts the defense a lot. And in that situation, they let him down. And I do understand the Broncos defense was on the field for almost 37 minutes against the Chargers to only 23 minutes of the Broncos having the ball. So at some point, it does become a little too much to ask for. And that's the balance that the Broncos need to find here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the other thing with the Lions comparison is they just don't have that talent. Like there is no Jahmyr Gibbs for the Broncos.
Nope.
And like even David Montgomery, you look at his stats. That's as high as I am on what I think J.K. Dobbins is right now, what he can be for the Broncos. Him and David Montgomery are kind of here and here. You take your pick.
Incredible last night.
As he has for a while.
He's looked really good since he got.
He's really good, and like Amon-Ra St. Brown for some reason doesn't get the attention. Past 4 years though, he's 5th in the NFL in receiving yards, behind Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, and he's 40 yards, less than 40 yards behind Jamar Chase. Like that's the type of receiver he is. Sam Laporta, there's no Sam Laporta. You look at Jameson Williams, solidified in his role. So I think. Also, that offensive line. All last year, you're like, yeah, Broncos' offensive line pretty good. Lions and Eagles are the ones that are like a step above. So I think that there's
really quick, one more. Let's not overlook Jared Goff. He's in that conversation to be in that top 5 quarterback along with Jalen Hurts as well.
So accurate. Like even that fourth down play where they just, they sneak Amon-Ra out, making it look like he's in a block. He just drops it perfectly in the bucket.
Right. And the other thing, watching last night, it blows my mind that people were saying Bo Nix is similar to Jared Goff. Those are not similar players in any way. First of all, like the way Jared Goff, like so clinical, doing those sorts of things, that's not quite Bo's game. You hope that he gets there. But then you see Jared try to throw on the run on that third down.
That was insane, bro.
And he spikes it. He gets the ball halfway there. Those two players are not the same. It's just that Bo Nix threw a bunch of screens in college and is still throwing a bunch of screens.
One thing I want to hit on here in regards to my concern level, I think this was the most concerning stat that came out of the game. I'm sure plenty of people posted this, but I saw it from Parker Gabriel, who said Broncos went 0 of 6 on third down in the second half. That's somewhat concerning, actually very concerning. This is more concerning. The distances on those 6 third downs, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 11, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 13, 3rd and 10. That doesn't mean that the Broncos went 0 for 6 on third down in the second half. It means the Broncos went 0 for 12 on 1st and 2nd down in the second half. And that is really bad.
That's just bad offense.
Yes, it's atrocious offense.
It's penalties. Like there are other things going on, but if you dodge the penalties, it's a different story. We're talking about 5 minutes ago. Do you go for it on 4th down? Your quarterback just scrambled for 12 yards. On a 3rd down, scrambling for 12 yards You should be saying like, oh, there's a first down.
Yeah.
You know, and the problem was was it first down? There was a holding. And so, no, second down, I believe it goes to 2nd and 20.
Yep.
But regardless, either way, when you're in those situations, we talked about it a little bit yesterday. And like I said, go to thednvr.com because I went through all these numbers. You have a 1st and 20. All of a sudden, there's a 47% chance that you're going to get a first down on this drive. And that's just a massive drop off from where modern NFL offenses are. Even watching the game last night, anytime you saw either the Ravens or the Lions go backwards on the first play, you're like, oh, wait, there's a chance this defense is going to be able to stop them. That's the only time you feel like there's a chance to stop them. You shoot themselves in the foot. And I guess we'll get to the super chats later, but that's the big problem. Everything else, there are things to tweak. You need more consistency in the run game. You need to find a way to complete 10-yard passes, but you got to get rid of the penalties. And if you just get rid of the penalties, you're probably nobody eliminates the penalties, but if you did, you'd be 3-0.
Well, and it's not just penalties. Warren Sharp put this out. Early down success on offense. The Colts are number 1 at 51.6%, which is incredibly impressive to be over 50%. The Broncos are dead last in the NFL, which leads to that stat that you just said, 32.4%, over 2% behind the second worst team, which is the Raiders. And then he went on to give their success on third down. It's worst in the NFL. They're 28th, so 5th worst in EPA in the early downs, and 29th, the 4th worst in percent of plays that gain another first down. That's a massive issue, and you're going to be a bad team and bad offense until you get those turned around.
And guess what? If it's 1st and 20, your success rate is a lot lower because success, I think, first down is 40%. Is it 50? I think it's 50, 75. So you need 5 yards. So instead of needing 5 yards to be successful, you need 10. On second and 20 instead of 2nd and 10, which is what happened on the second drive, to get that success rate, I believe you need 15 yards instead of 7 or 8 yards, however they count that. So it all feeds together into they put themselves in terrible situations because either a guy misses a block or somebody misses the throw or there's a penalty, and next thing you know, there's nothing you can do when you're 3rd and 11 every single time.
Yeah, exactly.
And it goes back to the boomer bust thing. The run game is boomer bust right now. The pass game is boomer bust right now. There's no just standard good offense. Go out there, throw to the tight end over the ball for 5 yards. You're 2nd and 5. You run it. Now you're 3rd and 2. You run it again first. There just hasn't been anything like that.
And that becomes so much easier if you can scare them deep.
All right, we got some shout-outs to give before we continue this conversation. And one shout-out, it's Taco Tuesday, baby. Let's go celebrate over at Taco Bell. And we celebrated
Someone's
earlier.
Getting fired for not giving me my bell.
Oh, that's a good point. We celebrated with a new protein-packed item that they've got over Taco Bell. Let's get to the celebration. Happy Taco Tuesday, and we're celebrating with the big box of nachos. Alyssa, let's take a look at this thing. This is unreal. Double the protein of the beef or the chicken. We got the beef. Henry, dive in. Eat it in one bite.
Wow.
Let's see you do this. I mean, we got the
feed an army.
We got the refried beef. We've got the pico. We've got the sour cream. We've got the cheese. And we have 5 pounds of chips here. This is the best deal in town. Plus, we got the vanilla cream soda freeze. And let's try it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
This is incredible. Yeah. Holy cow. How are the nachos?
Very good, of course.
I mean, this is food for me for 3 days. I love it. Taco Tuesday. Here we go. Go celebrate over at Taco Bell, where they've got everything you can want, including the biggest, best, most protein-filled nachos you can find. My goodness. I need that. I need that in my body right now.
Yeah. I've got a special delivery coming here right after this show, so I'm excited to eat that.
I know what that special delivery is. It's that exact thing. Also, a massive shout out to Broncos Tube for a $250 donation to Big Brothers, Big Sisters. That is awesome.
That is epic. Shout out Broncos Tube.
Yeah, shout out, and also a shout out and a little tease to what's to come at DNVR in 11 minutes from now. At 1 p.m. Denver time, we are dropping the second episode of Broncos X's and O's. It's the smartest show in Broncos country with Benny Fowler
Does that make us
and
second?
Dave Logan. Yeah, maybe we take like the best looking show in Broncos Country.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So we'll give them the smartest. Here's questioning us on that. But this week they've got Justin Simmons on, not just talk Broncos, but to give the scouting report on Bo, because Justin played against Bo last year with the Falcons. He knows what teams are looking for in Bo, so they're getting his perspective on that. That's dropping at 1. So right when we finish this show, just make sure to stay on YouTube and then go to that show, Broncos X's and O's. It's going to be up in just 10 minutes. That's going to be an awesome one.
Can't wait. First one was wildly successful.
Yes, it was. And a blast, too, along with just some great info.
And I learned a new phrase from Dave Logan.
Which one?
Could hear a cat sipping milk
Yeah.
from 100 yards away, I think he said.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah, I've never heard that one before either.
It took me a while to figure out what he was even saying. I think it was like they're hearing footsteps.
Right.
Like their ears are so good they could hear a cat sipping milk from 100 yards away, so they're hearing the footsteps come. That's why they don't want to go across the middle.
Wait, so a cat is hearing?
Nope.
No. The cat is just out there sipping milk. You could replace that with anything. Anything that makes sense. A guy typing on a keyboard. Any sound is out there. You can hear it from a long way away because their ears are so sensitive right now because they're so scared.
But why a cat sipping milk?
Have to pick something.
It's just a thing.
And it's pretty quiet. It's
Something
pretty quiet.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, living with 2 cats, they are loud.
I mean, compared to,
I guess my cats don't sip milk, so
Could you hear him from 100 yards away?
probably not, no.
Okay, then you're not a scared receiver.
Yeah. Guys, on this conversation for Bo, I want to bring something up that is out there right now that I very much do not believe in, but want to give you guys the opportunity to react to it. PFF says that Bo Nix is not only the worst quarterback in the NFL, he's the worst quarterback that has played this year. He's not just ranked 32nd for them. He's ranked 35th behind every quarterback that's played this year. What do you think of that? Like, we haven't been, like, so kind on Bo. But also, to me, this is absurd.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not watching and grading all the other quarterbacks, so I have no idea what they're doing. But I've definitely seen some bad quarterback play on Sundays, on Red Zone or whatever. So, I don't know. Last week, they had Baker second to last. I don't know where he is this week. And I thought that was insane.
That was like playing pretty well.
Yeah, that was like a confirming one for me because I watched. What game was that? They played Monday night last week. Yeah, they were the early Monday night game last week, and I watched Baker
against the Texans.
And I liked what I saw.
There we go.
And then I saw he was second to last. I'm like, okay, well, you don't have to pay much attention.
Oh, like JJ McCarthy's been terrible.
Yes,
like really, really terrible.
He's had one really good quarter.
Exactly, and won somehow NFC Player of the Week off that comeback that only needed to be come back. Like, you see what the Vikings did to the Bengals yesterday. They just need somebody to not hold them back, and he held them back. He was like an anchor. So I get there's one where I would say, no, give me Bo over that guy. That's for sure.
Jake Browning is included in this. Jake
picks.
Browning's ranked number 29. I'm sorry, they have Bo Nix ranked 36th here. Jake Browning scored 3 points. And with all the weapons that he has, look, I don't expect Jake Browning to come in and be good at all, but he was absolutely abysmal. That's why the Broncos should be thrilled to play him this week.
And they sucked all over. Samaje's handed the ball over. Jamar's handed the ball over. But there's certainly nothing you point at and say, like, give me that guy.
How about Michael Penix this week? Scored 0 points
I didn't watch that one.
against the Carolina Panthers and had awful turnovers, embarrassing turnovers. Like,
that's
just
so surprising for me. I didn't see that game either, but like, it just seems so un-Penix-like.
Joe Flacco, I guess he was able to beat the Packers, but they scored 13 points. It's not like they were good.
0 last week?
Yes, and I think like 7 the week before, something like that. Like, Tua, come on, I love Tua because he went to Alabama, but come on, he's terrible this year. This is absurd. So just wanted to get that off my chest.
Like I said, narratives are written in prime time. So Bo has a chance to turn the ship this
With
week.
only half the country watching, damn it. It should be everybody watching. But yeah, I think
I'm not gonna say that.
And the thing that does hurt Bo is just the number of opportunities. Like, and I don't know, like, did Michael Penix have wide open receivers running all over and he's checking the ball down? Did Michael Penix have multiple 3 touchdowns they just left on the board to wide open receivers? I don't know. And if you want to weight those so heavily and say, if you were to put, I don't know, whoever you think the best quarterback, if you were to put Josh Allen in the Broncos offense this week, the Broncos probably would have scored 40-something points. I think that was probably out there for them. And maybe if you went back and watched the Falcons tape, you say, yeah, the rest of the team wasn't giving him the opportunity to put up that many points. But still, like I can't get to he was the worst in the NFL.
Yeah, I completely agree. And look, Bo's the first one to admit that he had so many chances. He was on the sideline during the game, near the end of the game. And if you read his lips, he said, I had so many chances today. And you can tell that he was bummed.
He sure did.
Yeah. We all were, Bo.
One more thing, just about opportunities. Ryan, you said earlier in the show how the Broncos have an opportunity to completely change the narrative in these next 2 weeks. And you're 100% right. If they go 2-0 in these games, they'll have a winning record and they'll just have knocked off the Eagles in Philadelphia. I still believe that's the hardest game in the NFL for any team to play is in Philadelphia against the Eagles this year. They don't need to do that, though. What they need to do, you need to beat the Bengals. You can lose to the Eagles because then you have the Jets on the road in London. So neutral site game, doesn't even count as a home game for you. Then the Giants at home. They're going to be playing Jackson Dart, which probably a better quarterback than Russell Wilson. But that's going to be his 4th start in the NFL. That's a really tough task for him. Yep. Then you have Dallas, who it seems like they just dropped off the face of the earth this past week. And then Houston, who...
And CD's out for a while. I don't know how long.
Yeah, CD's out for a while. Then you have Houston, who 0-3.
Wow.
Really bad right now. Then you have the Raiders. That's also a winnable game. Mm-hmm. The first tough game after Philadelphia is the Chiefs at home, and we know they're having their struggles. That's in week 11. So you don't have to run the table. There's so many winnable games there to get the Broncos back on schedule.
Yes, that being said, if you don't win this week, go ahead and just smash that panic button.
Yeah. That's right there.
Smash everything.
Actually. Sure.
To start with, like, if the goal's the division, you probably aren't getting the tiebreaker with the Chargers because the Chargers, if they lose their second game with the Chiefs, win the second game with the Raiders, that would mean you obviously have to beat them at the end of the year.
4-2. And
you have to sweep the Raiders. You have to beat the Chiefs, and then you have to get really lucky because the next tiebreaker is the common opponents. Broncos' non-common opponents are the Packers, the Jets, and the Bengals. So you're probably thinking you're going 2-1 there. That's probably not somewhere where you're going to do worse than the Chargers. So to win the tiebreaker, realistically, you probably have to sweep the division the rest of the way. And so if you're thinking you're probably not doing that, then you have to beat them by 3 games, essentially, which would mean you need to go, like I said, 10-4. They go 7-6, and then you beat them after. And I don't think they're going 7-6.
No.
I don't think you're going 10-4. And even then, you're probably not winning that game. Or sorry, it'd be 8-5. There we go. That's better. Because you do get that one at the end. But that's why the division's so hard. That's why you have to get so hot through this stretch to even have a chance. Hey, if you make it happen, then you never know.
I was just going to ask if it's bad that there's a nitrogen tank that's leaking on the back of that truck.
That's what that sound was? Yeah, that's not very good.
There's a 5G tower literally 10 feet from our bedroom window. And if the crazy people are right, I'm in big trouble.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Well, before we're all in big trouble, let's hit some super chats here. And before we do, hit us with the thumbs up. We really appreciate it. Helps us out a lot. Join the Supporters Club as well. And let's get to some of these super chats. First one from Mark says, how you compare either of our 2 losses this year to the Ravens' loss or any other loss to a top team last year.
I mean, the Ravens' loss was...
They killed them.
Like I guess the word would be humbling.
It was 41-10. Like, you got murdered.
And it was just like, okay, the Broncos have no, like, dream of winning the Super Bowl this year. You know what I mean? Which, not that at that point of the year we were talking about that anyway, but it's like, it just shows you how far you were from the top teams. As of right now, you have 2 losses to 2 division winners.
Yep.
Division leaders, we can call it for now.
Probably like tier 2 teams.
Yeah,
Probably
exactly.
not Ravens, Bills, Lions, but
that are really close. So, like, I wouldn't say these losses compare at all. That one was a completely dejecting, like, you're nowhere on the same planet as this team.
Similar to the playoff game.
Right. And these 2 are like, okay, you're right there on the same planet as these 2 teams. You just didn't finish it.
You know what's exciting about this coming week? Not only the Broncos get to play the Bengals, but the Chiefs and Ravens play. One of those teams is going to be 1-3. Now, obviously, here in Denver, we hope that it's the Chiefs that are 1-3. But if it's the Ravens that are 1-3, that's a very steep climb for them to go and win their division. And then you can kind of eliminate them having to go, the Broncos having to go on the road in the playoffs in the first week to play them. So even if it is the Chiefs that win, that would it's good news either way. And we're going to get to the rest of the show in overtime. Go to thednvr.com to join the rest of the show. We have some more super chats. Sorry, were either of you guys going to say something?
No.
If I was, I forgot.
Ravens losing. Chiefs
That's just
losing.
a crazy, I mean, this has been a crazy start to the NFL season.
It has.
Yeah.
Really
and
crazy.
It's why the offseason, you talk, and then the Texans start 0-3.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah,
And
well,
the
there you go.
Chiefs probably start 1-3.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And that's just the way, I mean, talk as much as you want, but it just matters what happens on the field. Some good teams are bad, some bad teams are good. That's the fun.
Ryan Nymiak says, is it just me, or does it feel like whenever there's a big play, it's a Troutman flag? Also, Todd has to lock in these linebackers. Always believe.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason it feels that way, and it's because he has gotten called for a bunch of penalties. But it's also
he just can't.
Part of the reason why I look at the team and say so capable of winning games, because he already has the most penalty yards of his career.
If you're
this
Adam
has never
Troutman,
happened in a season before.
You just can't do this.
Absolutely, you can't.
It's so infuriating.
Yeah.
I would rather just not have a tight end. Like, put Pat Bryant on the field.
Or an extra offensive lineman.
Anyone. It's so frustrating right now. And I'm curious if it's going to change.
It's a great point from Henry that this is the most penalties yards he's ever had in a season. So hopefully that's an outlier.
Right. It's one of those things where it's like
in for the rest of the year.
Yeah. At what time does he just become this guy, though?
Well, if he does it a couple more weeks, then he should be off the field.
Yeah.
Evan Ingram, please have your back healthy, which is also a scary thing to say, to count on. And final one coming in from Wyoming Cowboy, who says, it took Josh Allen a couple of seasons to become NFL great Josh Allen. It's going to take Bo Nix some time as well. I'm not saying Bo Nix is Josh Allen. I'm saying we need to give Bo time. Don't give up, Broncos country.
Couldn't agree more. This was my point on the post-game show when I said, like, everyone always makes the point, Josh Allen would have never become Josh Allen in Denver because the fans would have never given him time to do it.
Run him out of town.
And people are starting to, like, gather their pitchforks to try and run Bo Nix out of town. Relax.
Right.
I agree with that. However, I mean, to be fair, though, Josh Allen was always viewed as a massive project. Bo Nix wasn't viewed as that, but he still is young.
I'm not comparing the two quarterbacks.
Okay.
In terms of who they are, who they're going to be. I'm just saying the point is the Broncos country has a history of being incredibly impatient.
Yeah. It is a really weird. Like when you draft a quarterback as old as Bo, it just changes all those conversations. And we just don't know what the answer is. Like one of the complaints was like, is he kind of just what he is at this point? How much better will he get? And we just won't have that answer. I think maybe the best comparison you'll find for him is Baker Mayfield, who got ran out of Cleveland after his second year. Incredible rookie year, a whole bunch of good things happens, terrible second year, and they said, nope, not enough. You look at him now and say the Bucs wouldn't trade him for anybody except for like maybe 3 or 4 guys across the league right now. And maybe 4 is even a stretch. So I get the appeal of waiting. I also understand maybe we'll look back and say, yeah, he was kind of just that same guy he was when he was 25 and nothing really changed. But you made the bet on him by using the first-round pick. You have to see it through. It would be a waste not to.
Totally.
All right, that's going to do it for us today. Make sure to go and watch Broncos X's and O's. Benny Fowler and Dave Logan are joined by Justin Simmons to talk about the Broncos and give a scouting report on Bo. We'll see you tomorrow at noon.
We all silly like the mayor.